Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and I've got, from my point of view, some very exciting news. And I only noticed this strangely because it's an extremely warm day, but we've had very high winds today, and it was only when I was sitting down having a cold drink, because I'm in the middle of doing some watering at the moment, and the wind was blowing my in-ground pomegranate bush around, and this is an unnamed seedling that came from Burncoos. It was only when the wind was blowing it around that this suddenly, or these, caught my eye. Look at this. Now this is the last week of June. I actually filmed this on the 25th, but I would imagine I won't have a chance to put this out for 2 or 3 days. But suddenly on the top of the plant I noticed a flash of red. Now the previous flashes of red, wow, it's windy. The previous flashes of red I'd seen had been red shoot tips, but now suddenly this has got flower buds appearing, and I'm now looking right on these tips. There's quite a few. Now what I can't tell at the moment is I'm kind of thinking they're a little bit elongated, but I'm kind of expecting, normally they come out, if you have a plant that produces both male and female flowers, normally I seem to recall the male flowers appear first and then female ones come a little bit later. Now these are a little bit elongated, but I'm kind of thinking they're likely to be males, but you won't really know when they open. Being a bit elongated, they could turn out to be females. Now the problem I'm going to have, apart from the fact the wind's blowing around camera, the problem I'm going to have is whether or if I don't get male and female flowers, I'm not going to get any cross-pollination. Now this is the end of June, so it is rather late once again, although this is the first time I've had flower buds in late June on my pomegranates. They normally appear late July when I have had flowers, which means it's too late for any chance whatsoever of the flower set and development, because these take 5 or 6 months. But frankly, just to get flower buds is ultra exciting for me. I really not too bothered about fruit set, but what I wanted to see was flower buds at last. So now this plant has been in at least 2018. This will be its 5th season, and the plant was put in at about a foot tall, and it's now a good 5 feet tall. So about the winds today, it's very warm when I'm filming this. It's still about 28 degrees, about 82 Fahrenheit. It's been a very hot day, but the wind's also very high, which doesn't cause a problem, just cools it down a little bit. But these buds look as if they're about 3 or 4 days from opening to me, and what I'll probably do is not publish this video, although filming it on the 25th. I think what I'll probably do is wait until some of these flowers open, and then I'll just carry on the video for people who are interested. So I'll pause it now and come back to you when the flowers have opened. So I'm picking up the video again on the second part. That part, as I said, was just filmed on the 25th of June, and we're now on the 2nd of July, so about a week later, and these flowers that I showed you are now starting to open. I thought I'd do it today because it's a Sunday and I've got time to video it. You can just about see the anthers or stamens inside the flowers. They're considerably bigger than they were. Now this has got a lot of flower buds, or quite a lot of flower buds appearing on the plant, certainly more than it's ever had. I've only had 1 or 2 flowers that appeared 2 years ago, nothing last year at all, and suddenly this year it's decided to put flowers out, perhaps because we've had a warm June. Now what I was trying to work out on these, now theoretically, as I said earlier, pomegranates are self-fertile, although they recommend you have 2 varieties if possible for cross-pollination, but they're really not normally considered to be more self-fruitful excuse me, self-fruitful in as far as the plants, most of the varieties seem to produce separate male and female flowers on the same plant. And if you look at diagrams online of pomegranate flowers, you will see a more elongated flower is normally considered to be a female, and the shorter flower is the male. Now, it's not obvious on this plant at all. Now, if you were looking at the buds here, I would be tempted to say that this bud here looks elongated and is likely to be a female, whereas the bud possibly next to it looks shorter and a male. So what I was trying to look at here, if I look at these two that have opened, it does actually seem to me, it could just be my imagination, it looks to me as if the flowers are slightly different. This one here appears to have a longer back, which is more swollen, than this one here, which appears to be much narrower at the base of the flower. So I'm thinking to myself, do I possibly have a female and a male flower here opening at the same time next to each other? So I'm most definitely going to try and pollinate these, because this is an unnamed variety. It won't be seed grown, it'll be cutting grown. It came from Bernkoos, but it's not listed. It was just listed as an ornamental pomegranate, but it's not a double flowered variety, because they would have several layers of petals and you wouldn't be able to see the stamens very easily. But it's just possible that if that is a female and a male flower side by side, as they'll be open the next day or so, I may be able to transfer pollen from the male to the female. To be fair, the female, if it is a female, looks like it's got the same parts inside it as the male, but we won't know till we try, because it would be nice to see if we can get fruit set. Even if this didn't produce fruits any more than perhaps an inch, it would at least prove that the plant is self-fertile or self-fruitful. So I'm going to keep an eye on these flowers in the next day or so. If we get some warm weather, they should open up, and I think they stay open for a couple of days, and if that is the case, I will try hand pollinating just to see if I get fruit set. And even if that fails, it looks like there's a fair number more flowers coming on these various bunches, and that definitely looks like a much more elongated flower than the one next to it, although they are different in size. So it will be interesting to see what happens. As I said, that's an unnamed pomegranate that I've got in ground. Plenty more little fruit buds coming, and these normally flower in this country, whereas in a warmer climate they'd start flowering in May and probably flower all summer. Unfortunately, they have a habit of not flowering here until sort of late July or even August, which means they don't have enough time in most parts of the country to produce edible sized fruits. But we'll keep monitoring it, because I know there are people very interested in pomegranate growing. I'm thinking of Mike particularly. He's very interested in trying to get his pomegranates to flower here, and this is the first decent show of flowers this one's had. There's more small buds coming here, and I guess this has been in the ground. This will be its 5th year in the ground since 2018. I planted it as about probably about a foot tall plant, so it's taken it a fair bit of time to get to a size where it would actually produce decent flowers. Anyway, thanks for watching that video. If you stuck with me, much appreciate it. Please do give me a like. You can share the video for people who think might find this interesting. Please subscribe to my channel, and of course if you click on the bell you'll know when update videos come out, and I will give an update video on this plant to see if we get anywhere with these flowers and if there's any differences in between them when they open fully. Catch up with you all soon. Brett out for now.